It should let you share it now.
Okay. Okay.
Just wait like a couple seconds. Just let me know when you've done it, and then we can start.
Cool.
Okay, there's about 6 people, so I'm gonna get started.
Sure.
Hi everybody, happy Tuesday, and welcome to another week of Empowering Ourselves. Before we do get started, I'd like to take a moment and just pay our respects to an incredible actor that is no longer with us. This is a reminder more than anything to continue to check up on your loved ones. Just remind them that you're there for them, and continue to just make your mental health a priority, because at our end, we do really believe that is the first step to empowering ourselves if you are healthy mentally. With that being said, welcome to Empowered, Saad and Ankita. It is so great to have you guys here. It's been a while since I've heard your voices, so I'm so excited for this. Just to get started, for everybody watching, would you like to introduce yourselves to our viewers and just tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much, Janvi. Thank you for having us. Thanks to Cancer Warrior for always thinking about us whenever everybody gets together. It's always a great feeling. So my name is Saad.
And I'm Ankita.
And we are here based in Toronto. We're full-time musicians. We're working towards our musical journeys. And Cancer Warrior has always been a huge part in supporting us and motivating us and encouraging us. So thank you guys for having us again.
No, thank you. So we were actually discussing what topic to do this week, and it immediately struck us that, how does music help us heal our bodies? And you guys were right there along with that discussion that we were having. So I'm glad we were able to execute this. It's interesting, though. I took this course called Music as Biology right when quarantine started, and it started to, pique an interest in my brain about, why does music have such a big impact on, like our healing processes, and why like meditation is good for us. So it immediately caught my eye, and I became fascinated with that idea. So I continued to research that a little bit more, and where that trend was applicable and where it is standing in our society right now. So a little bit of what I learned was that music therapy not only helps patients cope with their negative emotions, but also is used to help benefit patients spiritually, emotionally, as well as socially. And there's been such a wide range of studies shown that even physically it's helping people cope with their treatments and overall having beneficial results. Everybody watching, to get started, I want to know your go-to song for when you're feeling down. So comment that in the section down below, and maybe we'll get that to you at the end of our live section. What about you guys, though? What's like, right off the top of your head, what's your favorite, uplifting song?
I think we have a bunch of songs in our playlist that are go-to songs. It's really hard to choose one, but for me, one of my all-time favorite composers is A.R. Rahman. Whenever I'm down, I just go to his songs, and I just find myself uh, in a very healing state when I'm listening to A.R. Rahman.
Yeah, no, he definitely has that powerful voice that somehow just gets to you every one of his songs.
For sure.
So another thing that I realized was, not only are these therapies helping a certain population, but studies have shown that they've helped a variety of different populations, ranging from, premature infants to people with depression to people with almost a lot of different variety of diseases. I remember reading this like one study on Parkinson's, and how the treatment and the result was so much higher with these patients who were using music therapy as, complementing with their other treatments going on. So I thought that was kind of cool. Before I get into this a little bit more, I have some questions for you guys. Can you tell me what the first thing, like why you got into music? Was it a hobby that you always had, or, did it grow upon you as you continued through different stages of your life?
You want to start?
I think my mom introduced it to me. Like I was not too much into music, honestly. She discovered that I sing really well, and then she used to initially actually force me to sing and go to competitions and perform everywhere.
Yeah.
That's how really I got into it. But then, um, as back home, like I was doing my dentistry, so I was never too much into music. I used to go to competitions and participate, but like never thought of taking it as like as a profession. But when I came to Canada, and then somehow I just realized that that's the same thing like you were talking about healing power, right? So when I came here, right after 6 months, my dad passed away. So then that's how I realized that I think I should get into music, and that will be a good healer for me to just forget everything. And then that's how I got into music, and then here in Canada, and then I met Saad, and then that's rest is history.
Nice. So using almost um, an event and transforming that into something bigger, and that's how you found your passion. I think that's great.
Yeah, sometimes it's I would not say it's too late, but like you realize it later on that okay, this is my passion and
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
really need to do. This is giving me happiness, like true
Yes.
happiness.
I totally agree. What about you, Saad? Was there a certain moment when you knew that like music was for me, or was it almost like you were born with it?
uh, yeah, I think for me, music has always been with me, like right from the start. Always been very attached to less humans and more music, like throughout my time, and it's always been it's been a huge part of my life. And slowly, gradually, the music has refined with more understanding and with more learning. और उसी से फिर आइडिया हुआ कि म्यूजिक की मतलब पर्सनली आइडिया हुआ कि कितनी हीलिंग पावर है म्यूजिक के अंदर एंड a lot of music that we do, we always keep in mind how it should always have a positive impact on the music. And once you start realizing okay, you have a responsibility on you as a musician, I think things start aligning in a very positive manner for you as well.
Right. No, I think that's great. I know we've talked about this off camera before, but to all of our viewers, I know that like sometimes it takes someone to inspire you for you to chase your hobby, or like someone who you look up to. Is there someone in particular, whether that's an artist, a family member, who's inspired you to make music and to perform?
I think it would more be a performance factor for me because I come from a very literary and art family. My grandfather is a poet. My dad has been into art as well, so I've always seen them on the screen and performing in one way or another, be it in a public or a personal capacity. And I've always seen this vibe that I always got inspired by. कि यार they were always like the center of attention. People were listening to them, and once you realize that you can, uh, with practice, with a lot of practice, and with a lot of consistency and determination, you can bring yourself to a point where your listener, you create a listener. Somebody is listening to your message, and I think that's a huge thing that's on your hands, and it comes with great power comes great responsibility as well. And if you're up for that responsibility, and I think I was. So I started songwriting and I started composing music just so message could be transferred.
Yes, I totally agree with that. What about you, Ankita? Was there like a certain person or like a certain artist?
No, like I said, I was never too much into music, but when I came here, then I realized after my dad passed away, music was really helping me to connect with myself better. So I think that's one of the main inspiration for me. Because my mom used to force me, I never used to do it too much. But now that I think I realize when you do things on your own, you do it with much more perseverance and determination. So I think I do it when I'm doing it on my own. It's giving me happiness now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that that's funny that you bring up that like when you do something by yourself, it's a lot more rewarding than when someone else tells you to do that, because you're like you come to this realization by yourself, and it's all the more, it brings you all the more happiness that I was able to do this. But I think just what I've been reading about music therapy and the little that I do know, I've read that music goes towards contributing to improving our overall body's immune system, and it does reduce stress. So I'm sure that like while you guys are also playing music and composing and doing your strumming or whatever, it's brought you to a stance in your life where that stress factor is no longer there when you're playing that music. I think, do you guys agree? Is that like a stress buster for you?
form of meditation, I would say.
For
Like
sure,
if you, in case
for
you
sure.
just sit alone and just hum something and just you get to connect with yourself better.
Especially I always tell my students who we teach as well, and all our listeners, that I don't know if a lot of people know, when you're composing music, you're composing because music and sound is all in a frequency, right? So whenever we're composing, most of the instruments are tuned on a 440 kilohertz tuning. And back in the day, the tuning used to be 438, which is now considered a very healing frequency, and
Oh,
it's part of the music therapy on a wider scale. So whenever we are now making music, we first get back to the drawing board and figure out what frequency the tunings of our instruments need to be, to really start composing what we're
Oh,
composing.
that's so interesting. I had no idea the frequency. Thank you for telling us that. When I was researching this, there is this psychologist and neuroscientist that I've always been a fan of. His name is Daniel J. Levitin or something like that. But one of his, studies have shown that like listening to music was also found to be more effective than prescription drugs in reducing anxiety before someone undergoes surgery. So I thought that was kind of cool. So his work is fascinating to me. I think he did mention a little bit about frequencies, but I'm not sure what it was. To all of our viewers that are watching, if this is something you're interested in, frequency and how that helps with healing and using different techniques and music therapy methods, there is a book that he wrote. It's called This Is Your Brain on Music. And if you aren't familiar with like the sciencey side of things, he's explained everything in layman terms, so it's easy to understand. There's a free version of that book if you'd like. Comment that down in the comment section below and I'll get that to you. That's a really, really interesting book if this is something that you are interested in. And if you guys also want more information about this book, I would be more than happy to send it to you as well. We are getting close to our live portion of the show. So if anybody would like to request a song for our wonderful guests to sing, feel free to do that as well. We'll try and get around to those as well. Before I let you guys do your thing, now, because of this coronavirus thing that's happening, this guy actually, in a study, said that playing music, listening to music increases your body's production of an antibody and natural killer cells, which basically cells that attack invading viruses and boost your overall immune system's effectiveness. So music also tends to reduce levels of the stress hormone known as cortisol, which is one of the reasons why it is associated with relaxation, which is what we talked about already about how it reduces your stress. That is what we're going to do now. Our guests have been patiently waiting for me to stop talking. And trust me, you would much rather listen to them sing. So get comfy because your cortisol levels are about to be reduced. I'd like to give it over to you guys and help us reduce those cortisol levels.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
जय हो शंकरा आदिदेव शंकरा तेरे जाप के बिना चले सांस किस तरह मेरा कर्म तू ही जाने क्या बुरा है क्या भला तेरे रास्ते पे मैं तो आँख बंद के चला तेरे नाम की ज्योत में सारा हरिया तमस मेरा नमो नमो जी शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा लोकनाथ शंभो हे शिवाय शंकरा नमो नमो जी शंकरा भोलेनाथ शंकरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा
This is a request that we got from Vandana. जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम मेरा साथ मेरा हो हमनवा। जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए, तुम देना साथ मेरा हो हमनवा। Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, one of my favorites. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Maula tu Rahim, Maula tu Kareem, Bismillah, 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 Bismillah. तेरे नाम से शुरू हुआ, तेरे नाम पे खत्म अल्लाह। बिस्मिल्लाह, 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 बिस्मिल्लाह। पिया हाजी अली, 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 पिया। तुम समंदर के दमी, बाबा हाजी अली, बाबा हाजी अली। तुम समंदर के दमी, बाबा हाजी अली। सुनो हम गरीबों की इल्तिजा, हम पर करम कीजिए। पिया हाजी अली, 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 पिया। Thank you. Thank you. अजीब दास्तां है, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, ना वो समझ सके ना हम।
अजीब दास्तां है, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन
No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चिराग से रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चिराग से ये ख्वाब देखती हूँ मैं कि जब खड़ी हूँ भाग से अजीब दास्तां है कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी ना वो समझ सके If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Won't you stand now? Won't you stand by me? हवा की झोंकी आज मुझसे रूठ गई गुलों की शोखियाँ जो घबरी रातें रूठ गई बदल रही है आज जिंदगी की चाल जरा इसी बहाने क्यों न मैं भी दिल का हाल जरा सवार हर सवार हर सवार हवा की झोंकी आज मुझसे रूठ गई गुलों की शोखियाँ जो घबरी रातें रूठ गई बदल रही है आज जिंदगी की चाल जरा इसी बहाने क्यों न मैं भी दिल का हाल जरा सवार हर सवार हर सवार आवी कही रात मन फूलों का दीवार प्रेमिया मौसम छे अब आओ मेरे पास रह जाओ मेरे साथ प्रेमिया मौसम छे मिल जाए मुझको अगर साथ तेरा तो भूलूं मैं सारा जहां जो बड़ा तारा छबीला तारा हरी रंगीला तारा जो छुए जो बड़ा तारा छबीला तारा हरी रंगीला तारा जो छुए
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are doing some songs with other tribute to Shivasi.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, Jhanvi's back.
Hi guys. Oh, you guys are doing such a wonderful job. Thank you for going through all these requests. I know it isn't easy to just pick up a song and sing it on the spot. So thank you. For everybody watching, if you'd like to continue requests, we might be able to get to them. But if not, do you guys have something else planned, or do you want to continue with the requests?
Sure. We can continue with our playlist.
Okay, sounds good. And then I'll pop back in just to see how everyone's going.
Cool. You want to sing with us?
Oh, definitely not.
Okay. You're open to singing with us if you want.
Okay. I'll stay and watch for a little bit.
Very good. Sure.
ना मारेगी दीवानगी ना मारेगी आवारगी कि मारेगी ज्यादा मुझे मौत से नाराजगी तेरी क्यों इतना हुआ है तू खफा है जिद के सबात की तेरी कि मारेगी ज्यादा मुझे मौत से नाराजगी तेरी जाने सारे हैं जाने सारे तेरे प्यार पे मेरे यार जाने सारे हैं दुनिया ज़माने से रिश्ते मिटाए हैं तुझसे ही यारी है हमारी एक बार तो मैंने निभाया है करके दिखाया है ये तेरी बारी एक बारी तू भी प्यारी हाँ तू भी प्यारी हाँ यारा तेरी बेरुखी से है बड़ी उम्र इंतज़ार की ये मारेगी ज्यादा मुझे मौत से नाराजगी तेरी मैं तेनू समझा ना तेरे बाजू लगेगा जी मैं तेनू समझावा कि ना तेरे बाजू लगेगा जी तू की जाने प्यार मेरा मैं करा इंतजार तेरा तू दिल तो यार मेरी जान मेरी सुनिया सुनिया दिल दिया गलियां सुनिया तेरी आजा तेरिया खुशबुआं लब दिया मेरी आसा जीना मेरा तेरा की मैं करा एतबार मैं करा इंतजार तू दिल को जाने मैं तेनू समझावांगी ना तेरे बाजू लगदा जी
कहानियां कर दे कोई नवाज़िशें करम ये आरज़ू थी कि देखे दुनिया हम जैसा कोई दीवाना नहीं कर दे कोई नवाज़िशें करम मेहरबानियां तेरा वो प्यार याद आएगा भूलेगा ना ये दिल मेरा क्या हो गया सोचा न था
I have a question actually. I was just here listening and I completely blanked out on this, but how was that whole experience with opening for Atif Aslam? Like I remember hearing such good things about it, but I know like you must have been starstruck.
Oh, it was a great experience. He's one of the best in the industry, and we got a chance to open for him last year, which was last year or this year?
Last year.
This year. Last year? This year.
Last year.
I've lost track of time. But
Quarantine effects.
It's your voice that does that, I think. No, I remember hearing such good things about it when you guys opened, and I just completely blanked out. And I was like, I had to ask them this.
It was a great feeling. It was a great experience. We got to hang out with him backstage as well. It's always fun to interact with people who've gone into the mainstream and can share their experiences with us. And I think more than just the performance, the whole experience was amazing.
Other than that, we were not expecting a lot of support from the audience. Honestly, like we were just thinking that people who actually know us will be supporting us.
Right.
This is what we were thinking. But then we got a huge response from the audience. So it was
Nice.
really a wonderful experience for me. I don't know about like he's been into music industry for the last 15 years, right? So for me, it was a huge thing.
And no, meeting him, like I'm sure he's just as good looking as he is on his videos.
Honestly, like for me, I was more excited to look at the amount, like the audience. Of course, I was excited to meet Atif Aslam, but then looking at the crowd and getting such a good response from
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, can you guys please sing Kabira?
Kabira? Okay. Sure. Let's do it. Are you singing?
No, but I will be watching because if I sing, we're losing everybody who's watching us.
कैसी तेरी खुदगर्जी ना धूप चले ना छाँव कैसी तेरी खुदगर्जी किसी ठौर टिके ना पाँव बन लिया अपना पैगंबर कर लिया तू साथ समंदर फिर भी सूखा मन के अंदर क्यों रह गया फकीरा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयाँ फकीरा मान जा फकीरा यूं ना जा
ऐसा तू है निर्मोही कैसा हर जाइया टूटी चारपाई वही ठंडी बर्फाई रास्ता देखे दूधों की मलाई वही मिट्टी की सुनाई रास्ता देखे ऐसी तेरी खुद मर्जी
लब नमक रंगीना नशे कैसी तेरी खुदगर्जी तुझे
मस्त वाला मस्त कलंदर तू हवा का एक बवंदर मुझे हो अंदर ही अंदर क्यों रह गया एक कबीरा रे फकीरा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयाँ एक कबीरा एक कबीरा एक कबीरा एक कबीरा
Oh, thank you so much. I remember the first time I heard your voices with this song. I was completely starstruck, and it's the same exact feeling today. I literally have goosebumps.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot that you are here and you're willing to empower yourselves. I hope that your cortisol levels have dropped. We have a couple minutes left if you guys just want to wrap it up with maybe a couple more requests, and we'll end it there.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have a request? I lost track of messages.
Oh yeah, I can look that. Well, somebody really wants to hear Pal Kaisa Pal.
Pal कैसा पल?
This one?
नहीं पल कैसा पल है?
We can. Oh, could you do maybe the Rahat song, Afreen Afreen?
Okay, let's do Afreen. Yes, Afreen is everybody's favorite. Afreen, 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 उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन है उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन है उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन है तू भी देखे अगर तो कहे हम नशी आफरीन 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 उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन है उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन है चेहरा एक फूल की तरह शादाब है चेहरा उसका है या कोई महताब है चेहरा जैसे नजर चेहरा जाने नजर चेहरा जैसे कली चेहरा जैसे कमल चेहरा जैसे तस्वीर भी चेहरा एक ख्वाब भी चेहरा ताबीर भी चेहरा कोई अल्फ लैल भी दास्तां चेहरा एक पल चेहरा एक पल दो हाँ, चेहरा जैसा कि चेहरा नहीं, माहर माहर महजबी महजबी, उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन नहीं, उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन नहीं, आफरी 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 आफरी, तू भी देखे अगर तो कहे हम नशी, आफरी 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 आफरी।
That was so good. I'm getting a text message. One of my friends isn't able to text that on this, but he's requesting Mere Rashke Kamar. Yes, that.
That's Ankita's go-to song.
I know. I remember.
ऐसे लहरा के तू रूबरू आ गई, ऐसे लहरा के तू रूबरू आ गई, धड़कने बेतहाशा तड़पने लगी, धड़कने बेतहाशा तड़पने लगी, फिर ऐसा लगा दिल ऐसा जगा, जो तुझे वो खाली मजा आ गया, जो तुझे वो खाली मजा आ गया, मेरे रश के कमर, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर,
जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया, पर किसी गिर गई काम ही कर, पर किसी गिर गई काम ही कर, आग ऐसी लगाई मजा आ गया, मेरे रश के कमर, तूने पहली नजर, जब नजर से मिलाई मजा आ गया।
That was so good. I can tell how much you love that song just by the way you sing it. I can just tell. So usually we're supposed to cut off. I've been told that we were supposed to cut off at 7:45. We do have a couple more requests. So would you guys be the great people that you are and stick around for 5 more minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. Okay. Do you know? I don't know if this is the right song, but it's from Kartik Aaryan's movie Tera Yaar Hu Main.
Yeah. Lyrics निकल जाएं तो we can attempt it.
Okay. Thank you. This is the great part about just being live is there's no filter, so everybody gets to see.
Everybody gets to see the blunders.
Yeah.
फिर होता है
जो रूठा तूफान बसे
तू जो छूटा तो कौन रहेगा, तू चुप है तो ये डर लगता है, अपना मुझको अब कौन कहेगा, तू ही वजह तेरे बिना बेकार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं। आजा लड़े फिर खिलौनों के लिए, तू जीते मैं हार जाऊं, आजा करें फिर वही शरारतें, तू भागे मैं मार खाऊं, मीठी सी वो गाली तेरी सुनने को तैयार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ मैं, तेरा यार हूँ।
Thank you. It seems like my family group chat is going off. One more song that they've requested is Neele Neele Ambar Par.
Neele Neele Ambar. That's Ankita's go-to song. I don't know
Now,
why.
whenever he says that, I mess up. Whenever he says that, I mess up. This is my favorite, and he's going to sing today. I always want him to sing today.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were gonna start.
No, this is my favorite, and he's going to sing.
प्यार बरसाए ऐसा कोई साथी हो, ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो, प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए, नीले नीले अंबर पर चांद जब आए, प्यार बरसाए बरसाए, ऐसा कोई साथी हो, ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो, प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए, चांद जब आए, प्यार बरसाए बरसाए।
ऊंचे ऊंचे पर्वत जब चूमते हैं अंबर को, प्यासा प्यासा अंबर जब चूमता है सागर को, ऊंचे ऊंचे पर्वत जब चूमते हैं अंबर को, प्यासा प्यासा अंबर जब चूमता है सागर को, घर से बसने को बाहों में बसने को मेरा लग जाए, कोई तो आ जाए, ऐसा कोई साथी हो, ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो, प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए।
Thank you. I can finally put my WhatsApp to rest after that request.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I think that was a great way to end this off. Thank you both so much for doing this. I know you're busy, so thank you for taking the time out and being here with us. I know my cortisol levels have been significantly reduced, and I'm definitely feeling empowered. Before we go, would you guys just like to mention your social media handles just so our viewers can see where to access your music and all of your great pieces?
We go by our names.
You can follow
Ankita,
Music Official.
yes, Ankita goes by Ankita Music, and I go by my name, Saad Arif Tawsi. If you can look us up and connect with us. For people who love to make music and who love to sing, we have a platform called Magnetism Arts, and there we do our art and music all the way, the 360 of art and music. So whoever is ever interested to sing or do any kind of art, hit us up on Magnetism Arts.
Thank you. For everybody watching, I can attest to this, that they are such amazing people. I've had the pleasure of knowing them through various different events, personally and through different outlets, and they're just incredible people. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining us.
Anytime for Cancer Warrior.
Thank you. If you guys did miss a part of this live stream, it will be posted on our Facebook as well as Instagram page. So don't worry, you can continue to hear their voices even after we're off live. Thank you.
Thank you so much.